Like when you make your first product, make sure, it goes a little back to what I said in the beginning about stakeholders. Like make sure that you get like a certain amount of stakeholders on, if that's users, if that's people listing that stuff, get them on, and then cater for that experience to make sure. What we did is we've got equity management platform. I'm not going to bore you with it, but it means that we've got cap tables, so we've got share registers which we put online, and then they invite all those shareholders to join. So I would just target companies with as many shareholders as possible, and then I was so happy when they finally went live, as we called it, because then I got all the users. So it wasn't exactly a scalable company as such, but it looked like it on paper. And then what we did is actually that we started investing in actually making just, even though our product was really bad, we just invested in making it as easy as possible for those shareholders to sign up and invite other companies. And I think that is how we got by the first 2 years while we had to develop the platform, because it took a long time to develop, because we didn't raise a lot of funding in the beginning. So yeah, I think keep your initial product super simple and make sure it's gone. I think that's my main point, how you do it. Make sure that it can succeed within your runway. And your runway is 6 months for fundraising. So if you're building a product and you've got 6 month runway, you need to prove something tomorrow because you're going out fundraising. You've got a year, then you've got 6 months to build something, and you cannot build the whole product. So get those quick wins in.
So for what we do is it's when we're in the product steering cycle, actually putting potential revenue increase revenue metrics on the product teams. So each team within product knows what the kind of revenue opportunity of that build is. And then when we come as a leadership team, we meet with the product team and they pitch to us the potential new builds, who they've interviewed within the custom base, because we do a lot of customer testing and a lot of asking what we should do next. And then we actually put a metric onto that product team. Don't let a product team build something just because it's nice and might look very good. Everything that you build in product, because the product person wants to kind of build the most beautiful looking thing, and the tech team wants to build the best possible code in the most neat way, and the sales team want to make sure it's actually going to go to market with the marketing team. So aligning those three views, and so that's why in our leadership team we've got representations of all of those people. Every single time we vote on where we're going to move our product, in what direction, what's going to go into the pipeline, is based on the value add of each one of those products. Do not build a feature because it sounds like a nice feature to build, ever. Build a feature because you believe it will help your customers do what they are doing on your platform. And so having a kind of review and success metric of each new product that you're building, and then at the end of that 6 month cycle, because product cycles can be quite long, particularly for a commercial director, then view that and say what was successful and what wasn't, and then look to build what you're going to build based on what has been successful in that. So we do have a management consultant who used to do this for a living as one of our founders. So we were in a lucky situation of his job was to consult large corporates on what to build in their technology stack. So we have had the fortune of, within our early team, having that knowledge.
A management consultant who can actually do it himself.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quick. When you mentioned at the beginning when you were building your product, you said you had to keep it simple. It wasn't very good. Would you have gone for funding earlier then to make it a better product, or you just go get it out there? Just if it's simple, just go with it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what the market's going to like. You're just you, right? And it's going to change. You know one thing, and that is what investors would like to see in the next round. That's the only thing you know. Investors would like to see growth. Investors would like to see revenue. Investors would like to see user engagement. That's what you know. You don't know anything about your product. So you just need to hack one of those things. If that's revenue growth, do something that generates revenue right away. If it's users, generate something that's just generating a lot of users. They might be super unhappy. If it's about happiness, if you like to show user quality, then build something for a very close, small segment and show they can provide a good value. But I think it's finding that metric, like finding that one thing you want to succeed on, just building for that, because you cannot do it all at once. You cannot have a lot of users who've got a fantastic experience, getting a lot of revenue with no churn. It's just impossible. well, maybe I've been pessimistic. Somebody has done it, but at least if you're funded with like the amount of funding that we had in the beginning, of like 20, 50k thereabout, you just can't do it.
I just want to add on that. So we as an accounting firm early adopt so many different types of softwares and things that we think is the next greatest thing. That's how we know these guys as well, early adopted on their stuff. And the ones for us that really work for us is exactly that. They keep it simple early on, and then we enjoy the product, its simplicity, and then they build from it thereafter. The ones that have really been incredibly frustrating for us, and we've invested a huge amounts of time on it, are the ones that promised everything, even though they knew they couldn't do half of it, and then we potentially use it with our clients, and it became a real disaster.